I can't do it. We'll do it live. Okay. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Good morning.
It's time to wake up.
This is Snowman in the Morning on the Arena Sports Network.
Did you not get the memo?
Let's get busy!
Good morning. Welcome, and even more welcomes. It's the time of the hour. It's 8 a.m. Eastern. It's time for another edition of Snowman in the Morning on the Arena Sports Network on this Thursday, November 7th. Thursday Night Football will be discussed along with a subject that Josh has begged me to talk about. And Mike Lyle and I discussed it even further. So we'll get to that. And also a few more changes in our upcoming contest called the Webb Ford Pigskin Picks. We're going to have some fun with that. And you know what? Josh Hammers, my GM, and one of our producers came up with this idea. And the folks at Webb Ford in Highland, Indiana, thank you very much. We got some haters already telling us, oh, you started this too late. You're already in week 10. You know what? Shut up. Okay? We want to connect with the fans. We want to get them picking against yours truly. And speaking of picks, Josh and I will go head-to-head on one of the games this coming weekend. We're going to do that later this morning. In fact, we're going to do it twice, once today and once tomorrow. And in a few minutes, 3 minutes to be exact, 5 after the hour, will come Rusty's Morning Wrap-Up, and that is presented by TCF Bank. The Bulls discussion is going to be about Bulls bandwagon fans. You know, and Mike Lyle posed a question that is very, very true. Are you a true fan of the team that you say you're a fan of? Going to talk about that this morning as well. Inside the Journey, a progress report, yet another progress report, and something I'm going to start doing more of here in the future so people can see the progress and I can share it with others. If you heard yesterday, very special little girl turned 8 months old yesterday. My little Donna, happy birthday, sweetie. If you missed it last night, and we'll have it on Snowman in the Morning Extra later this morning, the South Suburban College Bulldogs took care of the Skyhawks of Sauk Valley. 3 sets to 1, and Larry Babcock, their head coach, came over to the table when I was broadcasting last night and told me, I don't know if it matters to you, but it's a pet peeve when people call them games and not sets. Coach Babs, I apologize. And he was laughing at me when he said it. Coach Babcock, a great friend, big Notre Dame fan, and he also made an agreement with me. If he were to win regionals this Saturday, it's a double elimination tournament, so he's got 2 shots at it. And with the way this team is, they're the number 1 seed. I wouldn't be surprised if they win very, very handily, and they see Wabanzi on Saturday. If they win this Saturday, he's going to ring in the show, and we're going to have a conversation with him. So that's on the docket for Monday if they win the regional championship. And I'm praying for you, Coach Babs. I love your team. I love you guys. Hopefully you can bring... No. I'm going to go ahead and say it. I know this is putting the cart before the horse, and I shouldn't do this in sports radio, but who cares? When they bring home the regional championship this Saturday, I'll have Larry Babcock on the board with me on Monday. But today we'll talk Thursday Night Football right after the first break. No, that's not what Pat's showing me. After the first break, we'll talk Bulls bandwagon fans, and there are a lot of them as I took a peek at some of the comments in social media. Do the Bulls have issues at 1-3? A couple, but folks, it's only 4 games into the season. Okay, the Knicks are 1-3. People are throwing them under the bus. You know, Mike Lyle and I had a terrific conversation, and ladies and gentlemen, please forgive my voice. This frog has taken up residence in my throat from yelling last night at the volleyball match that broadcast, and they did a terrific job. So I'm glad I don't have to call a game tonight. So I'm going to have a lot of green. I'm going to have a lot of green tea, a ton of green tea today to get everything situated. And it's about that time. It is 5 minutes beyond the hour, and now it is time for Rusty's Morning Wrap-Up, presented by TCF Bank. And old Rusty's on the line with me. This is Rusty Silber. Good morning.
Good morning, Brian. How are we doing today?
Besides this frog in my throat, I think I'm doing pretty darn good.
Frog, is Kermit visiting you again, or what?
Oh, man, Kermit's been visiting me off and on for the past 18 years, all right?
Well, that can be good, it can be bad, just like our sports teams, good and bad.
Yes.
That's what we feel right now.
Yes.
So let's go through the morning sports wrap here. Morning, Brian, everybody. Welcome to Thursday and Rusty's Morning's Wrap-Up, presented by TCF Bank, the official bank of the Arena Sports Network. Blackhawks were on cruise control with a 4-1 victory over Winnipeg Jets last night at the United Center. It was the second time they got past the Jets in the last 5 days. Jonathan Toews, Patrick Sharp, Patrick Kane, and Brandon Perry all scored. Defenseman Duncan Keith had a pair of assists. Corey Crawford made 24 saves. Hawks next travel to play the Stars in Dallas. That'll be on Saturday night. Bulls are lacking offense, defense, and just inconsistent once again in their 97-80 loss to the Pacers in Indianapolis last night. Derrick Rose, Lou Alding led the Bulls with 17 points. Pacers are off to a 5-0 start for the first time in 33 years. Bulls are now 1-3 and next host Utah tomorrow night. Bears are still keeping its eye on quarterback Jay Cutler, who's considered limited for practice. Coming up here today, Josh McCown is expected to start Sunday when the Bears host the Lions at Soldier Field. Bears, Lions, Packers, all three tied with 5-3 records in an NFC North going into Sunday. Thursday Night Football, RG third in the Redskins make a visit to play the Vikings in Minnesota. College football, Ball State beats Central Michigan 44-24. That's the next opponent for Northern Illinois next week. 10th-ranked Oklahoma travels to 6th-ranked Baylor, and 3rd-ranked Oregon tackles to rank Stanford later on tonight. And lastly, Brian, the Cubs will introduce, at least that's what they're saying right now, all the rumors are pointing to this, San Diego Padres bench coach Rick Renteria as their new manager sometime here today. Renteria, 51, has been a bench coach with the Padres since 2011 after becoming a major league coach in 2008. Rusty Silver for the Arena Sports Network, and don't forget to visit TCF Bank for more information.
Thank you very much, Rusty. I will talk to you tomorrow, my friend.
Okay, have a good day.
Rusty Silber for Rusty's Morning Wrap. And when we come back, he just gave me 2 very juicy college football games to have a discussion about. Oregon, Stanford, Oklahoma, and Baylor. We'll have both of those, and that's going to be next. Pat's going to be mad at me, but we got to talk about them when we come back on the Arena Sports Network.
What is the IHSA?
For more than 100 years, the Illinois High School Association and member schools have provided opportunities for students to participate in interscholastic athletics and activities, which produce vital education benefits.
Did you know the IHSA offers statewide championship series in 14 sports for boys and girls and sponsors statewide championships in 7 non-athletic activities? Did you know the IHSA licenses more than 10,000 contest officials in 13 different sports and that more than 300,000 students participate in IHSA sports and activities every year? Did you know activity programs only account for 1 to 3% of the overall education budget in a school? Did you know the nation's first sportsmanship mascot was created by the IHSA in 1997 with the birth of Attitude? Did you know students who participate in activity programs tend to have higher grades, better attendance, lower dropout rates, and fewer discipline problems than students that don't participate? Did you know activity programs provide valuable lessons for practical life situations? Teamwork, self-discipline, time management, dealing with adversity, and communication skills?
Now that you know, get in the game. Be a fan and join the fun. Support your local high school programs.
This message has been brought to you by the IHSA. Challenge yourself.
Hey, can I talk to you for a second? Come on over. How do you feel about mobile banking?
If I could sum it up in one word, easy.
It's so convenient. I actually do a lot of my banking on a mobile app.
Yeah, it's really helpful.
I love mobile banking.
With the TCF mobile app, you can bank anytime, anywhere. So how would you use it?
If I need to check my balance really quick, or if I need to transfer funds really quick, I'll whip out my phone and do the little app.
At the airport yesterday when my flight got canceled and I needed to buy another ticket.
What's the craziest place where you've banked on your phone?
In the bathroom. Before I got in the
shower.
Yeah.
Probably like a plane when you're not supposed to be on your phone. Like they tell you to turn it off.
In bed.
I was in Morocco in the middle of the desert.
Morocco?
There isn't a crazy place for mobile banking. It's convenient.
Download the free TCF mobile app for your smartphone and tablet. Switch to the home of free checking today. For locations and more information, call 1-855-OPEN-TCF or go to tcfbank.com. TCF Bank. Surprisingly connected. Member FDIC.
Hey, Josh Lopez, this one's for you. And a little bit for me, too. I love this song. 11 after the hour on Snowman in the Morning. We're presented by Fusion Ions Bands. Fusion Ions, live your best. Also by Slugmaster Baseball and Softball Hitting and Training Aids. Slugmaster, turning batters into hitters. Later on this morning, we'll have more rules for the Web Ford Pigskin Picks, presented by Web Ford of Highland, Indiana. My thanks to Josh Hammers for getting that together, our GM. And oh my God, we got a lot to talk about this weekend. TIU travels to St. Xavier, Bruce Deaton Field on the south side to take on the St. Xavier Cougars at 1. We'll be up at noon with the pregame show. Now then, despite what Pat is showing me on the car that we need to talk about next, this is what I'm going to get in, and we're only going to have a few minutes because we got a show chock full of stuff. There are 2 absolutely juicy college football matchups tonight. And you can watch them both in their entirety. They're not conflicting in terms of time. The first one is Oklahoma and Baylor in Waco, Texas. Oh boy. If y'all have paid attention to OU and Baylor, you know the points are going to be flying all over the place. These are 2 of the most offensive-minded teams, not only in the Big 12, but in the country. And they have to see each other tonight. Oh, boy. And it's going to be in prime time. I mean, Baylor minus RG3 has been phenomenal offensively, which brings a question of their defense to mind. This game is going to come down to one very important thing. Who is going to make the defensive stop when necessary? Who is going to make the defensive stop when necessary? And also, will the atmosphere of Baylor get to Oklahoma? And here's another question. Who leapfrogs who after this game in the BCS standings? We can talk about team stats and quarterback ratings and quarterback stats all we want. They're all there. They both have the pedigree. I get that. But what I'm focusing on is the overall atmosphere. The overall atmosphere of kids playing in what has become a very, and I mean this in fun, a very hostile environment. Very hostile. Will Oklahoma have enough defensively on the road to contain that high-powered Baylor offense? Will they hold them, let's just be honest, under 40 points a game? That's game 1. That's only game 1. Game 2 is probably the ball of the weekend, same Alabama LSU in Tuscaloosa. Tuscaloosa for those who are scoring at home. And that second matchup takes place in Palo Alto, California. And I know my friend Brian Davis, Professor B, is going to be absolutely loving this. Professor B of Bay Area Sports Weekly, a good friend of mine. He and I have connected, and We've talked about a lot of stuff, talking about getting some things together. He's out in San Francisco taking care of business with Bay Area Sports Weekly, and I thank him for the connection. Second matchup will be Oregon and Stanford in Palo Alto. This is the night that Stanford retires John Elway's jersey. Again, my good friend, Professor B, Brian Davis, Bay Area Sports Weekly.com out in San Fran. He's a fellow 49ers fan. Thank you very much. Oregon and Stanford in Palo Alto. How in the hell do you pick this game? Oregon has all the offense it needs with Marcus Mariota. Stanford has all the motivation they need with them retiring John Elway's jersey. If you could not pick a better opponent to retire a Legends jersey, and for those of you who don't think John Elway is a legend, do your research. On a night where they choose to retire a Legends jersey, they welcome the highest scoring team in the land in the Oregon Ducks. And I will say it again, aside of LSU and Alabama for what is basically the SEC championship, you got these two button heads for what's basically going to wind up being the Pac-12 championship. How the hell do you pick this? You have, it's basically, I know it's an old cliche, and we got to go to a break here in a moment. I know it's an old cliche, but it's so true. The irresistible force that is the Oregon offense, meaning the immovable object that is the Stanford defense. Stanford has hung their hat on defense this year more than any year in the past. Now, let me give you a little history. A year ago, these two butted heads in Autzen, at Autzen Stadium in Eugene, Oregon. Stanford held Oregon to 14 points in their house, essentially knocking Oregon out of the BCS title picture. So Oregon's going to come in a little pissy. They're going to come into Stanford Stadium and try to look Stanford in the eye and go, you know what? You held us to 14 points last year. We've been thinking about this for a year's time, and we're ready to get even. To which Stanford will reply, look at number 7 hanging up in the rafters. Man, if you could not pick a juicier college football matchup, and again, I'll say this with all respect to Alabama, LSU, and Tuscaloosa, and Lord knows they're going to be button heads. We're going to be talking about that tomorrow. If you could not pick a juicier matchup, this would be it. This would be it. I'm only going to reveal my pick on the Facebook page, and I am going to add 2 things. Number 1, it's going to be close as all get out. And number 2, I wouldn't be surprised if there was 100 points scored by one team in this game, at least one of the teams. You guys may think I'm crazy, but I'm just speaking the absolute truth, and I'm speaking from the heart. 19 after the hour on Snowman in the Morning. Got to pause for a break. When we come back, we'll talk more Thursday night football and a game that's become the afterthought of the games that are on tonight, and it occurs in the Metrodome. Tell you about it in 2 minutes. Snowman in the Morning, 19 after the hour on the Arena Sports Network. I'll be back.
Register for CPR, ACLS, First Aid, AED, and more life-saving classes today with Dr. Catherine and Associates. They teach CPR nationwide 24 hours a day, 7 days a week by appointment. They teach advanced cardiac life support, and they are an approved American Heart Association training facility. Visit them today at 820 East 87th Street, Suite 100 in Chicago. You can also give them a call at 312-623-2433 or go online to learncprchicago.com. Dr. Catherine and Associates, in the community for the community.
My name is Matt Rencars, and I'm the founder of Fusion Ions. We are so confident that you're going to love our bands. We want you to try one risk-free so you can see for yourself how powerful these bands really are. Don't wait. Go to FusionIons.com to find out how you can receive your very own free Fusion Ions band. Take advantage before they are gone. FusionIons.com. That's FusionIonz.com.
How do you turn a batter into a hitter? With Slugmaster Hitting Stations. Slugmaster Hitting Stations are the most effective and durable baseball and softball batting practice devices available. Versatile, compact, and easy to use, they are excellent tools for ball player at any skill level. Attached to any pole or post for an instant hitting station. Use it at the ballpark, at home, or anywhere you want to get some hits in. Work the strike zone, top to bottom, in and out. The most complete workout year-round, indoors or outdoors, teams or individuals. Slugmaster equipment is constructed from high-grade steel. The rugged design means years and years of use. Slugmaster equipment is used by youth, high school, college, and professional ball players. For more information or to place your order, call 708-705-7354 or visit slugmaster.com. Slugmaster Baseball and Softball Hitting Aids, turning batters into hitters.
Gigahertz, providing customers with excellent service since 2008. Computer problem? Leave it to the staff at Gigahertz, priding themselves with an unparalleled work ethic and continuing to offer customers the lowest prices around. Gigahertz services include PC repair, networking, PC setup, custom PC builds, pickup and delivery, in addition to in-home and in-office service. Get small to large business solutions, service contracts, and much more. Computer problems? Gigahertz. And that's where we come in. Gigahertz for your computer repair and solution needs. In-home, in-store, wherever it's convenient for you. Think your PC's infected? Gigahertz offers free virus diagnostics with most virus removals done in 48 hours or less. Plus, they'll optimize your PC. Take that, Best Buy. Give Gigahertz a call. 219-218-9323. That's 219-218-9323. Or log on to gigahertzpc.net. Gigahertz, and that's where we come in.
No way I'll be able to sing the opening of this song with the way my voice is right now. Welcome back, Snowman in the Morning, 23 after the hour here on the Arena Sports Network. We're presented by Fusion Ions Bands. Now, let's talk some more football, shall we? And there is Thursday Night Football in the NFL. RG3 and the Redskins, Adrian Peterson and the Vikings. Ugh. Two teams that were expected to compete. One team is trying to compete more than the other. One team coming off of a win, the other off of a loss. Oops. Follow us on our Facebook page, facebook.com/snowman in the morning and /the Arena Sports Network, or you can tweet us at Snow Morning Show and at Arena Sports 13. In fact, let me put these three picks out there right now. Who are your picks for Thursday Night Football tonight? This is a triple header. Oregon or Baylor? Oregon versus Baylor? Oklahoma at Baylor. Doggone, I'm sleepy today. Oklahoma at Baylor? Oregon at Stanford? Or the Washington Redskins and the Minnesota Vikings? Who are your picks in those three games? Follow along on the Facebook page, facebook.com/snowman in the morning. I can't believe I said Oregon and Baylor. Oh, God. If those two ever got together, and I'll leave it at that. RG3 and the Skins, Adrian Peterson and the Vikings at the Metrodome. I can't call it Mall of America Field for some reason. I just can't. It's not Mall of America Field to me. It's always been the Hubert H. Humphrey Metrodome, or the Humphrey Dome, or the place that decides to collapse a couple of times, which they're finally going to blow up and get a new stadium. Which team is reeling more right now, the Redskins or the Vikings? Which team has a better chance of getting back into their division race, Redskins or Vikings? I think both of them. No, you know what? The Redskins have more of a chance to get back into their division race because the Redskins picked up a huge, huge win over San Diego this past Sunday in overtime, 30-24. Now they travel what's basically across the country to the frozen north, called the Metrodome, which means Paul Allen is working today, voice of the Vikings. And they try to keep Adrian Peterson in check. AP ran for 125 yards against Dallas, but the Vikings could not hold the lead in Jerry World. Vikings lose 27-23. I don't know if you could say Minnesota has a lot more incentive, but that's about what you call it right now. They need to get a win. They need a win. They need a win bad. Because if you think about it, they were embarrassed at home by Green Bay. They were embarrassed on Monday Night Football versus the Giants, although the Giants didn't play that good offensively, but the defense knocked them around. Josh Freeman is probably gone with a concussion. And now you have Christian Ponder back under center. When the Vikings drafted Christian Ponder, what were they thinking? Did they actually think that the Christian Ponder era would last after the failed experiment called Donovan McNabb? That leads to my question of the day. Would you have drafted Christian Ponder to be your quarterback if you were an NFL owner? I wouldn't have. He didn't show me anything while he was in college. Didn't see anything breathtaking, or what he's lacking right now, consistency. You got the best damn running back in the game behind you in Adrian Peterson. Use him. Get him out of the backfield. Throw him some screen passes. Hand him the football. Let him run for 150 yards. But Christian Ponder is not going to be one of the elite quarterbacks unless he actually steps up and performs like one. And he's not going to do it tonight. That Redskin defense has got to be licking their chops. And although they're licking their chops, they still have to deal with Adrian Peterson. Which has got to be scary. You know, the word is, if you stop Adrian Peterson, you stop the Vikings. Well, the Cowboys didn't stop Adrian Peterson, and the Cowboys still won because Tony Romo actually decided to show up. He actually thought, hey, they're paying me all this money. I need to do something. What's AP going to think after tonight? Because if he gets stopped, the Redskins are going to run the Vikings over. They're simply going to run them over. And you can't depend, and if you're a Vikings fan, that crowd is going to be sitting on their hands. Now, is there a possibility that I can be wrong? Hell yeah, there's that possibility. I was wrong Monday night. I looked at the matchup with the Bears and the Packers from every honest angle I can think of and looked at the current numbers and compared the last three games. I didn't look at the heart of the Chicago Bears defense. I didn't look at the heart of the Chicago Bears, period, going into a place that's been a house of horrors for them the last 6 trips and the last 6 games against the Green Bay Packers. I didn't think that they would come out with a win, but all the credit in the world to Mark Trestman and the Bears for doing so. That could happen tonight with Christian Ponder and the Vikings. That could happen tonight with Adrian Peterson absolutely running wild against that Redskin defense. And that Redskin defense has got a lot of holes in it. So, yeah, I could totally be wrong. I'm human, okay? I've been wrong many times. I have been wrong many times, and I'm going to be wrong many, many more times. I don't mind that, nor do I mind admitting it. That said, my pick is the Redskins. There's just something that's going to catch fire, and I think the Redskins are going to be the team, one of the teams in the NFC East that's going to catch fire. Who's the second team that's going to catch fire in that division? I'll tell you tomorrow. Got to pause for a break halfway home. I'll have Josh Hammers here with me, and we're going to go head-to-head on one of the games this weekend, and you won't believe which game it is. Halfway home on Snowman in the Morning on the Arena Sports Network. I'll be back.
Hey, you guys. Could I ask you a couple questions?
Okay.
Saving money, what's it like for you?
Well, I'm an artist, so it happens sporadically.
But it does happen?
It does happen, and when it happens, it feels really, really good.
With easier savings at TCF Bank, what would you save for?
Oh, clothes and shoes. Housing repairs.
To buy a new car. I'm saving for grad school.
And then I'm hoping to just save up, just to have savings, period.
What would make it easier to save money?
Having like a sugar mama.
Which isn't a bad plan, but if you needed a little banking plan or something, what would make it easier?
Something with an
automatic transfer?
Something with an automatic transfer, probably.
So you wouldn't even notice the money?
Automatically transferred.
Automagical.
Automagical, oh my gosh.
How much could you save if saving were actually easy? Open an account at the home of free checking today and find out. For locations and more information, call 1-855-OPEN-TCF or go to tcfbank.com. TCF Bank. Surprisingly simple. Member FDIC.
iGo Car Sharing, dedicated to creating a robust and seamlessly integrated transportation system that's ubiquitous, convenient, and affordable for individuals, and provides the region with expanded economic development opportunities and exemplary environmental performance. Since its inception in 2002, iGo has worked to catalyze a set of transportation innovations that make it feasible and desirable for Chicago residents to get around conveniently and economically without having to own a car, and at the same time, reduce vehicle miles traveled and greenhouse gas emissions. A mobility system that is independent of private car ownership, requires solutions that use resources efficiently, saves residents money, and decreases the individual and regional ecological footprint. It allows residents to easily choose between multiple modes of transportation to move from point to point quickly, inexpensively, and conveniently. Innovative information technology can integrate both trip planning and service payment across all types of transit, including rail transit, commuter rail, local bus, bus rapid transit, and more. Visit us online at igocars.org and find a location nearest you. iGo Cars, Chicago's only hometown nonprofit car sharing company.
What? I had to come back with this song. I had to come back with this song. You don't like it? Oh, well. I'm just kidding. 33 beyond the hour on Snowman in the Morning on the Arena Sports Network. Go to thearenasportsnetwork.com for all of the best sports. The Arena Sports Network, the newest and the best game in town, where every team has a fan. Talking NFL football on this segment, and my GM, Josh Hammers, and my good friend is on the line with me. Good morning, Josh.
Morning.
Did you have any Red Bull yet?
No.
No?
I'm working on the first cup of coffee.
Oh, you're just getting started then.
Well, let me see. I get a phone call about 15 minutes ago saying, "Hey, Josh, you're coming on the air with me." Well, I'm sitting here in my PJs, trying to wake up, have a cigarette in one hand, and my first cup of coffee. I'm not in a good mood yet.
Oh, you're not? Well, you're going to be even in an even worse mood, because beginning today, every Thursday, Josh and I will go head-to-head with one game in the NFL, and the game that we have to go head-to-head with, and this is an early spot at the picks, the Seattle Seahawks visit the Georgia Dome to take on the Atlanta Falcons. These two clashed heads back in January for a spot in the NFC Championship game, which was won by the Atlanta Falcons. Now, Josh went one way, I went the other, hence the term head-to-head. He went with Seattle. Why?
You know what? Even though they're one of the best teams in the NFL right now with only one loss underneath their belt, yeah, I know they have a lot of problems on offense and defense. They're like a piece of Swiss cheese, holes everywhere.
Because they let Tampa Bay run through them like crazy in the first 3 quarters.
Exactly. And that's where, but that's why I'm saying I'm going with Seattle, because between Tampa and the week before,
St. Louis,
all the way down to the wire, they find a way to win in the fourth quarter. They find a way. Somehow, Tampa, I'm sorry, Tampa should have won last week.
You think?
But and I'm going to do a Jay Cutler reference here.
Oh, no.
They're finding a way to win in the fourth quarter. Late in the fourth quarter, yes. Am I on pins and needles the whole game? Yes. Am I about to kill someone at the 2-minute warning? Hell yes. But they find a way to come back and win in the fourth quarter.
Well, I will tell you why I'm picking the Atlanta Falcons. History. January, these two teams met. Seattle coming off of a wild card win in Washington. And they're coming all the way east to play the Atlanta Falcons in the Georgia Dome. They were fast asleep in the first half, down 14-0 before they could blink. Matt Ryan and the Falcons are playing to basically save their season. After a win and a loss combination, now they get probably the hottest team in the NFL, and that fire gets extinguished in Atlanta. Historically, Seattle has not played well, even under Pete Carroll, coming east. And they have to come east, and they have to play a 1 o'clock game. And you and I have talked about this before. Any team going from west to east 90% of the time is not going to perform well unless your name is Colin Kaepernick and the San Francisco 49ers. That said, Matt Ryan and the Falcons are going to find a way to get it together at home in front of that rabid fan base. I am taking the Falcons, but it will be close.
All right, so what are we going to put on the table here?
I'm not betting you anything right now because I don't have any Red Bull.
I'm going to tell you what. And this goes to all the fans out there. We've got our pick six. You hear this week, our contest going from now until the end of the football season. Day after Super Bowl, we'll be handing out a couple different prizes.
All right.
For me and you.
Oh, no.
This game is times 10.
Times 10?
Is times 10. And this is only for me and you. But if we lose, we can go in with the fans.
Okay.
If we win, there's nothing to it. Fans still win. But for us, we can get in with the fans if we lose. It's times 10.
Now,
so that means we're just going to have to work our ass off to get it going here later on.
Now I'm really pulling for Atlanta. Josh Hammer's on the line with me, going head-to-head as we start our NFL picks this weekend. I have a bonus pick for you, and it's a college football game. Oregon or Stanford?
Oregon.
Without blinking. He says Oregon. People, just go look on the Facebook page, and you'll see my pick for that game tonight. Josh Hammer's on the line with me, having his first cup of coffee. Notice the capitalized word of that sentence first. 39 beyond the hour. Josh, thank you very much. I'll talk to you soon, my friend.
See you later, man.
Josh Hammer's on the line with me, and when we come back after a break, why are there so many bandwagon Bulls fans? Don't you guys know your history? Apparently not. In 2 minutes, 39 beyond the hour on the Arena Sports Network. This is Snowman in the Morning. Good morning.
Can I ask you a couple questions?
Okay.
So, what do you do on Sundays?
I usually try to make it to the gym and play video games.
Go to the zoo, and then you have lunch and nap, and there's some diapers.
Between ballet classes and...
I can totally imagine you doing ballet.
Yeah, well, not me, but taking my two girls to ballet.
Did you know TCF Bank is open Sundays? How would that make life easier?
That would mean a lot.
I do like to have the bank open on Sunday, and that's one of the reasons I use TCF.
I completely agree. It's a bummer when you realize at the end of the week that you have something to take care of and the bank's not open.
But TCF Bank is open on Sundays.
I can't believe it.
It's amazing.
That is amazing.
It's amazing.
It's amazing.
So you might go and talk to a person on Sunday?
Yeah, I like talking to persons.
You know what? I can tell that about you. TCF Bank is open 7 days, including Sundays. Surprised? Come into the home of free checking and open an account today. For locations and more information, call 1-855-OPEN-TCF or go to tcfbank.com. TCF Bank. Surprisingly convenient. Member FDIC.
You do a lot of thinking on a bike. About your life, family, your dreams. One of my dreams came to me on a bike. To open up my own shop. So what happens when you complete a dream? Well, you just start thinking of the next.
Visit DrastichAgency.com or call 219-945-3040 and ask Joel Drastich how you can get all of your insurance under one roof.
Anne-Marie specializes in premier 5-star vendor and craft shows. She also offers event planning for special events of any kind. Anne-Marie's goal is to provide both her vendors and shoppers with an exceptional experience, believing that promotion is the key to any successful event. Anne-Marie has developed personal relationships with her vendors and is constantly being sought by vendors who would like to participate in her popular events, often with wait lists for vendors. Working with Anne-Marie is an enjoyable, stress-free experience. Anne-Marie is a perfectionist and very creative. She is 100% committed to each event from beginning to end and believes that promotion is the key to any successful event. No stone will go unturned as it relates to promotion. For the ultimate in event planning, contact Anne-Marie today at 219-741-0435 or visit anne-marieprince.com. Premier events in Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana are brought to you by Anne-Marie.
Man, Josh is so mad at me. Josh Hammers is so mad at me. 42 beyond the hour on Snowman in the Morning. Good morning. On this Thursday, November 7th, man, Josh Hammers is so mad at me. He is so mad at me because I woke him up and told him that he had to go head-to-head with me on the air. And he's going, "Are you bleeping nuts?" And I calmly go, "No." And he goes, "How the hell can I go on air with you? I'm just waking up." That's why I'm calling you now. "But didn't you just get your show started?" "Yes." "Well, why the hell are you calling me now instead of calling me before we're supposed to go head-to-head?" See, you remember. Doggone it. And folks, this is minus his Red Bull. 43 beyond the hour. Progress report inside the journey up next. But I want to talk a little Bulls bandwagonism. They lost last night to Indiana, 97-80. Let's get that fact out of the way. Derrick Rose, Luol Deng, 17 points apiece. Let's get that fact out of the way. Indiana is a complete team. Let's get that fact out of the way. And I'm not showing any love to the Pacers or to the Miami Heat. But if you want to look at it that way, I'm showing more love to the Pacers because they're a complete team. Now, everybody in the social media universe has their opinion. Note the key word, opinion, of what's wrong with the Bulls. The fact is, as of right now, 4 games into the season, the Bulls have trouble scoring. Part 2, they have trouble defending the three-point arc, and that's asking for trouble against a team like the Indiana Pacers. They'll see Utah on Friday. Now, everybody wants to throw the Bulls under the bus. Oh, they're weak, they're mediocre, they won't be able to compete. People, 4 games, okay? 4 games with a new cast of characters. 4 games with your leader being back. And I saw this on Facebook, which irked the daylights out of me. The statement was, Russell Westbrook is now back with OKC, and it looks like he hasn't missed a beat. An obvious reference to the Derrick Rose injury. You know what? Shut it up. Because I bet you Russell Westbrook, doggone, I've messed it up. And Pat and Josh Lopez and Josh Amers are all laughing at me. And Josh Amers just flashed a sign. I thought you were perfect on the air. If I was perfect on the air, a lot of other things would have happened by now, but I'm glad they didn't. Be that as it may, Russell Westbrook is going to falter. He's coming out of the gate fast now, and Derrick Rose is not. But it's November! Okay? Do you know how much time the Bulls have a chance to get used to everybody being on the floor? And you know Tom Thibodeau's going to be in their heads about playing defense, okay? You want a good note to pull out of that? They held the Pacers to 97 points. Granted, they only scored 80. But it's 4 games into the season. I liken this back again to 1991. The Bulls were 0-3 coming out of the gate before they won, and they won 61 games that year. 2 years ago, they were 3 games under the 500 mark heading into Christmas, and they won 61 games. Do you bandwagon Bulls fans not do your history research? Forgive my voice. It just irks me. It just irks me that people want to throw the Bulls under the bus. Yes, there are obvious problems with the Bulls right now. Okay? Granted. But you want to write their death certificate on November 7th instead of in April? In fact, I'm going to go on record as to say the Bulls still will compete for the Central Division title before this is all over. And I also wouldn't be surprised if they win in excess of 50 games this year. More than I can say for the Cubs next year. But anyway. I meant that as a joke. I had to throw that in. I am kidding. All Cub fans, I am kidding. Do not shower me with hate mail. Well, they're going to make... You know what? I love the Cub fans for the fact that I can throw things at them and they'll throw it right back at me. This is in pure, unadulterated fun. Got a break. After the break, a progress report on yours truly inside the journey, and we're going to get the heck out of here. And we got some announcements to close the show. 47 beyond the hour, 13 before the new hour, and I'm going to get showered with hate mail for the next 2 minutes because of that Cub joke I just threw out there. I'll be back.
Hey everyone, Ed Farmer here. As a closing pitcher for the Sox in 1980, I racked up 30 saves, the Sox record at the time. But thanks to a life-saving kidney transplant in 1991 from my brother Tom, someone else helped save me. Just like my organ donor, you too can give someone a second chance at life. In fact, as a registered organ donor, you can help save the lives of more than 25 people. Be a team player. Register to be an organ and tissue donor at DonateLifeIllinois.org.
Register today to be an organ and tissue donor at DonateLifeIllinois.org.
Need a car in a pinch? Need to get somewhere fast? Don't rent a car, share a car with iGo. iGo provides the convenience and flexibility of having a car without the hassles of owning one. Members have 24-hour access to a fleet of iGo cars in reserved parking spaces all over Chicago and in 4 suburbs. iGo pays for the gas, premium insurance, maintenance, and 24-hour assistance. It's very simple and a great service to take advantage of. All you have to do is pick a plan, reserve a vehicle, and drive off. See? Easy. If you want more info, just visit igocars.org and start sharing today. iGo Cars, Chicago's only hometown nonprofit car sharing company.
An ordinary sunny day, an ordinary family's living room filled with an ordinary bunch of kids, and they were doing nothing. They were couch slouching, they were rug imitating, and lazy minute after lazy minute was passing them by, when suddenly...
Huh? Hey guys, that's a personal foul. Inactive activity on a sunny day.
Coming to the rescue was NFL running back Reggie Bush.
Players don't get lazy penalties. Let's play.
Those kids, they listened to Reggie. They got up and play they did. There was fun and running. There were smiles and jumping. And laziness was crushed.
Hey kids, Don't get a lazy penalty.
Kids, listen to Reggie and avoid lazy penalties. Be a player. Get up and play for an hour a day. Go online to check out smallstep.gov for fun playtime ideas.
So you can be a player too.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Be a player.
Welcome back. 10 minutes before the hour on Snowman in the Morning. And a week from today, I'll have a very, very special interview. The last couple of weeks been talking a lot about video games. So I'm going to have a friend named Jesse who runs Pincades in Northwest Indiana. All the old classics, some of the newer classics, he's got them. I'm going to talk to him. I'm also going to talk to Josh Hammers. And also, hopefully, and when this is set up, cross your fingers, fans, we're going to have a show from Pincades. That's in the future. Right now, I promised last week a progress report, and here it is. I'm feeling great. That's your progress report. No, I'm kidding. Inside the Journey presented by Fusion Ions bands. Fusion Ions, live your best. And I've ran into a few people that have listened to this segment and they loved it. They're like, we're just so proud that you're putting yourself out there. Well, I had to hold myself accountable. Matt Rincars has been in my ear for over a month, trying to help me get everything together, and I thank him for that. I really do. It's been fun. This has been absolute fun. It's been a grind. There are times where I wanted to just absolutely give up. I'm like, you know what? The heck with this. I'm done. And Matt's like, no, you're not. I'm like, oh, why not? Like, don't you want to feel better? Well, yeah. Okay, then. Then you have to go through this. All right. So, he talked me into it. He told me the tools. So, I decided to go for it. He allowed me one reset, and I did it. I went through the 10 days. I went through the 10-day cleansing. And it's a recalibration process that he spoke about earlier. And it's a good process. Anybody that has dealt with the addiction to food, as yours truly has, as Matt has, as a few other people have, you're going to need to do this. What I am going to do, beginning Monday, is I'm going to do it again, but I'm going to post some pictures. And the reason I'm going to post some pictures because I got inspired by folks that were posting pictures of their progress with their health journey. I've been inspired, and granted, I went through the process, and I'm getting the exercises in, but got to do more, got to be more accountable. So I'm going to go through that process again and add a few tips to it, like writing down my menu, writing down when I ate, just basically doing everything that I do on air, journalizing everything by pen and also by microphone. So beginning Monday, you want to follow along. But I'll tell you what, when you find out what your addiction is, I've said it before, and I said it like this. When you find out what your enemy is, you'll know how to attack him. And it's the God's honest truth. When you find what your enemy is, you'll know how to attack him. And with that thought in mind,
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
Oh, man. Wasn't that great, kid?
tomorrow, we'll be live from UIC Pavilion as the Lady Flames welcome St. Xavier. Saturday, TIU goes to St. Xavier to play the Cougars in football. We'll have that over the Arena Sports Network beginning at high noon. Picks tomorrow all over the place. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Snowman in the Morning on the Arena Sports Network. Have a great day. God bless. And remember to make your next move your best move. So long, everybody.